Marijuana is partially decriminalized in New York by criminal defense lawyer Andrew M. Stengel. As of August 28, 2019, in New York, possession of up to 2 ounces of marijuana is not considered a crime under the state's marijuana reform. Marijuana, however, is not legal in New York. New York's marijuana reform creates 2 degrees of unlawful possession of marijuana, both of which are punished by a fine and are classified as a violation, which is not considered a criminal offense. Possession of more than 2 ounces of marijuana remains a criminal offense in New York. Sale of any weight of marijuana also remains a crime. In New York, marijuana is spelled M-A-R-I-H-U-A-N-A. There are 2 other important provisions of New York's marijuana reform related to sealing and expunging certain marijuana-related convictions. Some prior convictions for marijuana possession in New York will be expunged, which includes a conviction of the former Class B misdemeanor criminal possession offense. Future convictions for marijuana possession in the first or second degree will also be expunged. New unlawful possession of a marijuana in the second degree. New York marijuana reform law creates 2 levels of non-criminal possession of no more than 2 ounces. Unlawful possession of marijuana in the second degree, Penal Law Section 221.05 states, a person is guilty of unlawful possession of marijuana in the second degree when he or she knowingly and unlawfully possesses marijuana. Unlawful possession of marijuana in the second degree is a violation punishable by a fine of not more than $50. Unlawful possession of marijuana in the second degree was formerly known as unlawful possession of marijuana, which was also a violation, though punishable, of a fine of up to $100. New unlawful possession of a marijuana in the first degree. Unlawful possession of marijuana in the first degree, Penal Law Section 221.10 states, a person is guilty of unlawful possession of marijuana in the first degree when he knowingly and unlawfully possesses 1 or more preparations, compounds, mixtures, or substances containing marijuana and the preparations, compounds, mixtures, or substances are of an aggregate weight of more than 1 ounce or 28.35 grams. Unlawful possession of marijuana in the first degree is a violation punishable by a fine of not more than $200. Criminal penalties for marijuana possession in New York now begin at a weight of more than 2 ounces. Possession of marijuana of more than 2 ounces is criminal possession of marijuana in the fourth degree. Penal Law Section 221.15 is punishable by a Class A misdemeanor. Thus, it is no longer a crime to possess marijuana as long as it does not weigh more than 2 ounces, 57.70 grams. If a person allegedly possesses 2 ounces or less of marijuana, then the charge will be either unlawful possession of marijuana in the first or second degree, which are violations and are not considered criminal offenses. Criminal penalties for marijuana possession in New York. In addition, the following criminal marijuana possession laws remain in place in New York. Criminal possession of marijuana in the third degree, Penal Law Section 221.20, possession of more than 8 ounces of marijuana, which is punished by a Class E felony. Criminal possession of marijuana in the second degree, Penal Law Section 221.25, possession of more than 1 pound of marijuana, which is punished by a Class D felony. Criminal possession of marijuana in the first degree, Penal Law Section 221.30, possession of more than 10 pounds of marijuana, which is punished by a Class C felony. Criminal penalties for selling marijuana in New York. To repeat, it remains a crime in New York to sell any weight of marijuana. Criminal sale of marijuana in the fourth degree, Penal Law Section 221.40, sale of any weight of marijuana is punished by a Class A misdemeanor. Criminal sale of marijuana in the third degree, Penal Law Section 221.45, which is a Class E felony, sale of marijuana that weighs more than 25 grams. Criminal sale of marijuana in the second degree, Penal Law Section 221.50, which is a Class D felony, sale of marijuana that weighs more than 4 ounces, or sale of any weight to a person who is less than 18 years old. Criminal sale of marijuana in the first degree, Penal Law Section 221.55, which is a Class C felony, sale of marijuana that weighs more than 1 pound. Expungement of marijuana convictions in New York. New York's marijuana reform allows for expungement of certain prior and future convictions. Recently, New York allowed for the sealing of certain criminal convictions that are more than 10 years old, but this is the first time the term expungement is added to New York's laws. Under New Criminal Procedure Law Section 1.20, Subdivision 45, expungement means that an arrest and enforcement activity connected to the arrest, including a prosecution and a disposition in court, is deemed a nullity, and the accused is restored to a position occupied before an arrest, prosecution, and/or disposition. An expunged case means that the arrest and prosecution never happened. Expungement of marijuana convictions in New York applies to some prior and future convictions. First, a prior criminal conviction for criminal possession of marijuana in the 5th degree, former Penal Law Section 221.10, which was a Class B misdemeanor, will be sealed and expunged. In addition, a prior conviction for unlawful possession of marijuana, former Penal Law Section 221.05, which was a violation, will be expunged. Future non-criminal convictions for unlawful possession of marijuana in the 1st degree and 2nd degree will also be sealed and expunged. A person who was convicted of criminal possession of marijuana in the 5th degree or unlawful possession in the past or a future marijuana violation can request that all records related to the case be destroyed. As a former prosecutor and current criminal defense attorney in New York, Andrew Stengel has successfully handled misdemeanor and felony allegations of marijuana possession and sale, as well as allegations related to the possession or sale of a controlled substance. Visit the website of Andrew Stengel for more information, STENGELLAW.com, or send an email to info@stengellaw.com. Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.